My name is Megan Rhoden. My husband and I attend Life Church. We have 2 little boys, 8.5 and 10, and I'm here to share my story. I grew up in a Baptist church. I was involved in the youth group and the choir, and we were just at church all the time, but I just really didn't understand what it truly meant to follow Jesus or have a real relationship with him. So when I went to college, I didn't go to church, I didn't follow Christ, I just wanted to do my own thing, I wanted control of everything, and I just felt like nothing really went the way that I wanted it to, so I just became more and more distant. Eventually, I became depressed, I had anxiety, I even developed an eating disorder called anorexia, and those things I still struggle with today. I was looking for happiness. I didn't feel like there was any joy in my life. I just felt like I was going through the motions, and what people saw was not truly what was inside. Well, in 2005, I met my husband, Kevin. He was so fun to be around. He was energetic. He made me laugh. So we quickly got married, and I thought that that would bring me happiness.
The first 5 years of our marriage were really good from a lot of different standpoints. We'd hang out with friends. We were going to church on a regular basis. We were just consistently doing things that a normal young married couple would do. And at the same time, in the back of our minds, we knew that kids were coming.
And I knew more than anything, I wanted to be a mom. So Kevin promised me that we could try for children, but he wanted to have some fun first, so we waited 5 years, and then our first son was born. Once again, I felt like that would fulfill something to make someone love me and accept me unconditionally. And so we had our first son, and then 16 months later came another little guy, and so then my hands were really full, and I was so wrapped up in them that I couldn't think about anything else, or I didn't want to. All my focus was on the 2 boys. I didn't give any time to Jesus. I didn't give any time to Kevin.
As Megan and I began to bicker quite a bit, we would argue. The kids would always come before me. There was times I would stay at work just to avoid going home because I didn't want to be in another argument. For the next really 5-6 years, our relationship was pretty rocky. And I could just tell that things weren't where they should have been.
And that led to even worse things. I mean, my eating disorder became worse. I didn't like my job. Nothing was ever good enough once again. Nothing was fulfilling me. Kevin didn't fulfill me. My children didn't fulfill me. And I decided to make the worst choice of my life, and I decided to betray my husband.
And it was the most tormenting, gut-wrenching, depressing, agonizing pain I've ever been through. The love of my life, who I took a vow to stay true to, had just broken it, and I was absolutely crushed. Didn't know where I was gonna go, what I was gonna do. Just my world had crashed around me. Am I gonna hold on to this forever and be bitter about it and move on with my life and just erase you from it? Or am I actually going to try to make this marriage work? And do I want to make this marriage work? But either way, I knew forgiveness had to come to play, whether I chose to keep my marriage or whether I chose to walk on, because it would eat me alive. So it really took 2 to 3 months for me to get past the initial just shock, and I wasn't ready to make a decision on our marriage, but I knew if we were going to make this last, there was definitely a lot of things that we needed to change. Lo and behold, Pastor Bob speaking on forgiveness at the time. It was something that I definitely needed to hear. We were all emotional, knew that it was something that this had to be done, regardless of whether our marriage stayed intact, but I had to do it for myself. I couldn't keep living just taking on the bitterness day after day after day and letting it stew in me and just build up a giant wall against Megan and my family. I remember it was the day before Good Friday. It was April 18th, 2019. I asked her to basically accept my forgiveness.
I told him absolutely everything. He knew me inside and out, and he still chose to forgive me. Through his forgiveness, that's when I truly saw Jesus' forgiveness, because Jesus knows all our sin. He knows everything we've done. He sees everything that we will do and ever do, and he still forgives us. I felt like I was good enough. Finally, that I was good enough, and that I didn't have to be perfect.
It was a refreshing feeling. I hadn't felt that way in a long time. I felt alive, and after being dead for so many years.
I no longer had to carry the shame and all this suffering that I had brought upon myself, that Jesus had taken it from me and that it was gone. It was unreal. I mean, I didn't even feel like I was living the same life. I just felt like a new person. I felt like there was hope for us and for our family, and that I could turn my life around.
So if you ask me who Jesus is, he is our forgiver who has brought healing to our marriage and restoration to our souls.